Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? I said, hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Oh, okay. So here we are, guys, and I want to thank everybody for their patience tonight. As luck would have it, we'd have a little bit of problems, and we'd also have to get mentally prepared for a show like this. I want to say what's up to my man Buck Bewley doing the moderating. Thank you. And I want to say what's up to my members of the Tim Black Wolfpack who came through tonight. And I want to say what's up to all the people that are visiting for the first time. How y'all doing? I'm not preoccupied. I'm getting ready because this is one of those nights. One of those nights when something you hope comes over you, you're able to do a better job, the best job you can do, a job that's even better than you've been doing, or a job that resonates with people because it's important. So check this out, guys. If you're new to the show, this is a U.S. politics show. We also cover Black culture and breaking news. And so that's what we do here. U.S. politics, breaking news. And tonight's a little bit different because tonight we're going to do this. I don't know if we have time for much else. I don't know if we're going to have the stamina for anything else after tonight's main topic. And I'm going to go first with that main topic. If you like what you hear tonight, make sure that you hit the subscribe button, you hit the like button. If you've already been here before, you already know what it is. This is independent media, folks, and this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to say the things that aren't being said in mainstream media. So let's start off by saying this. Today and every day, when they're gaslighting us on all these social media platforms, they always use comments, some of the same language, right? In the Democratic Party, anyway. And I guess this is a bipartisan thing, yeah? They like saying the phrase, because we're Americans. This is what being an American is. How many people have heard that? How many of you have heard that before? Something similar to it. Sometimes they go the other way. They go, but that's not who we are. Whenever there's a travesty, they like saying that. But that's not who we are. And there'd be somebody in the back, like me, going, the hell if it's not. Where you been? Yeah, whenever something bad happens, like shootings, but that's not who we are. Got to check and make sure you're in the same body you were in. Make sure you're in the same place you've been in, because you know damn well this is who we are. This is who we've been. We keep proving who we are over and over and over again. It's like we in a Groundhog's Day. But ain't no cute groundhogs, and Bill Murray is not available. Folks, I'm talking about the extrajudicial killing of Marcellus Williams. 55 years old, life was taken today after he had exhausted all his appeals. He did all he could do. His team did all they could do. The Innocence Projects did all they could do. The Supreme Court did all they could do. The 1 million different signatures, 1 million different signatures. Do I have that video of these folks, guys? Because I want us to put this all in perspective. I should have it. Because people tried. They tried. I don't see it. I'm not going to go get it. There's a group called We the People. I think it's We the People. They collected 1 million signatures, a petition to the state of Missouri to give a stay of execution for Marcellus Williams. And look, guys, I know you're going to hear a lot of people talk about this. If you go online, look it up. If you didn't know about it before, if you go look now, you're going to see it's been talked about for years, several years. In fact, I ran into a clip that even D.L. Hughley did 7 years ago when the first stay of execution was granted to Marcellus Williams. Back when D.L. Hughley did better work, when he didn't have this obsession with Kamala Harris. So this organization, they collected 1 million signatures. They put it on the governor's desk. This video of going to the governor's desk, delivering it. There's different individuals carrying stacks of signatures from people who gave a damn about our system getting it right. And these one by one, these average Americans, all colors, all genders, orientations, whatever, just people who believe that if you're going to have any type of dignity, any type of country with justice in it, you should never take a life if there's any type of doubt ever whatsoever that you're doing the right thing. And if so, what good are we, right? What good are we? Someone killed a woman by the name of Gail. Felicia Gale, she was 42 years old. She was stabbed to death in her home. Horrific thing was done to Felicia Gale. Stabbed to death in her home by some asshole. Somebody robbed her, took a laptop out of the house, took her husband's laptop or something, I don't know, some petty ass crime. They stabbed her 42 times. This was back in, I think it was 1998 when this crime took place. Though it was years later that they found someone to pin it on. I mean, when they found somebody that they could charge with the crime. That's important to know. Because, see, there was no eyewitnesses. There was no DNA at the time. No one saw anybody leaving the house. No one left fingerprints. No DNA, but no fingerprints. Well, there were things that were left, like there were footprints through the blood. Footprints through the blood. But yeah. Footprints that don't match Marcellus Williams or didn't match Marcellus Williams, because whoever did it had really big feet. Unless Marcellus put on big shoes, way bigger than his feet, and decided to go and do this horrendous act, probably wasn't him. Let somebody else stumbled into, the crime scene and walked through the blood. So I want to first say, I want to also add that what we have here is we have a horrendous crime, a horrific crime that took place. But we don't compound a horrific crime that took place by making another horrific crime ourselves by ordering the execution of what could be an innocent man. You go online, you're going to lose your faith in. I mean, if you had any faith to begin with, if you had faith in our system or in Americans, by and large, you would lose a lot of it if you go in the comment section. On any conservative site, including X or Twitter. Yeah, because they'll be saying things like, hey, another one bites the dust. Good day, it was a good day today. That type of stuff. But then again, it could be Russians sowing discontent. But yeah, you don't compound a horrible tragedy by committing another horrible tragedy on purpose. Turns out, guys, Marcellus Williams, who many people were advocating for him to be freed, well, not freed, they were advocating for him to get a stay of execution, which ain't the same thing. See, what they wanted was a trial where they could use the DNA evidence because they did have the murder weapon. They had the murder weapon. And it wasn't until, 2017? Say, hey, we got DNA. Can we test this? This guy's been sitting in jail for 20 years almost on the word of a person with a very heavy drug habit and another person who was sitting in jail, jailhouse snitch. An ex-girlfriend who's a heavy junkie and a guy in jail, both responding to the $10,000 bail that suddenly became available. And Marcellus was already in jail. So it's perfect. Pinning a crime on a guy that's already in jail for who knows how many reasons. I mean, this is Missouri. Shady things like that happen where they decide, hey, we don't like this guy. I'm pissed at this guy. We need to get him out. I don't like what he said. I don't like this guy. We need a patsy. We need somebody to go down for that. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean a fall guy. How about that? We need a fall guy. We need a fall guy. We got to put this on somebody. Let's put it on this guy. And then just so happens, somebody's got warrants for their arrest, bench warrants. And it's like, hey, well, if you say this guy, if you say this guy did it, then, Yeah, I think he had a laptop. Really? He had a laptop. You remember those couple years ago, he had a laptop. Yeah, he had a laptop. I don't know where he got it from. I think he sold it. Which would be circumstantial evidence at best if you could even prove it. No eyewitness, no DNA. So when they get around to testing, well, it shouldn't even got that far, considering the fact they had an unconstitutional jury. See, they were supposed to get jurors, and notwithstanding, like, you can't have the criteria of getting a jury be no black people. That can't be your jury. It can't be the way you pick a jury. But this prosecution picked the jury, dismissed jurors who were black. Missouri is a very black place. Not very black, but blacker than most places in the country. I don't know what city. So anyway, the point is that they used unconstitutionally, the prosecution chose a jury not of his peers. Intentionally, because they didn't want a lot of black people on the jury. In fact, they ended up with only one black person on the jury. Somehow that's his peers. I wonder how many juries will white guys get convicted or charged with murder where there's only one white person on those juries. I wonder how many times that happens. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? That wasn't on the bingo card, was it? That's a good question, Tim Black. So Marcellus Williams has a cook jury, which is unconstitutional. They finally get around to doing DNA analysis, and they found out they got no DNA of him on the murder weapon, in the house, anywhere. The only physical evidence that they do have is of a footprint that ain't his through fresh blood. And still, they can't get this thing overturned. They can't even get a new trial. You know what I'm saying? How you not going to be able to get a new trial based on that alone? Oh, damn. And then I leave out the fact that the prosecution says, yeah, he probably didn't do it. Yeah, we prosecuted the case, and we really screwed up this case. We didn't do a good job. That's the prosecution saying that. That's not Tim saying it. That's not some diehard progressives, the radical left, the kooky left. That's the prosecution themselves. You know, the people that their job is to lock people up. They said, hey, I think we screwed this one up. In fact, they, along with the defendant, along even with the victim's family, said, hey, we don't want this guy to be executed because this doesn't add up. They wanted to say of execution, not to let him be free. They're like, okay, look, do the DNA analysis. Please do the DNA analysis. They go do the DNA analysis. That's when they find out, hey, he's got no DNA on the knife. But see, the way the Innocence Project works is they like for their cases to prove that they got it wrong. And there was a problem. There were other prints on that knife. And guess who they were from? The prosecution. Yeah, the prosecution left the only prints on that knife. So they screwed up the evidence, which screwed up Marcellus Williams's appeal, because now they can't really use the fact that he's not on the murder weapon because the prosecution mishandled it. So now you got to believe Marcellus Williams, which they do not. They got no physical evidence tying them to the crime. They got no eyewitnesses. They got the testimony of two felons, one with a serious drug habit, the other one in jail already. They paid them $10,000 in 1998 or whatever it was. I'm sorry, 2000, because I think they finally picked him up in 2000. And here we go again, guys. This is what we have. And that's why I say this is the America that we have. This is not this thing where we get to go, oh, no, it's not who we are. Yes, this is exactly who we are. We do this all the time. What do we do all the time, Tim? We have a justice system that doesn't work properly for everyone. Poor people get hosed. Black poor people get hosed the most. You know, there's a saying, when I used to cover these types of stories all the time, I had to stop for my own mental health reasons. You never find, there's a couple things you never find, and one of them is a rich person sitting on death row. You ain't gonna find that. And I think the other one was a smart person being their own lawyer. But in the movies, it seems to work out. Only in the movies. So, yeah, one more shot, man. One more chance. One more chance. Missouri State Supreme Court, they ruled against it. And then they had another chance. Well, maybe the actual United States Supreme Court will favorably decide, hey, man, not to let this guy go dancing in the street, not to just throw the charges out, but to give him a fair trial. That's all. How about a fair trial? Because you got no DNA on the murder weapon. You got shaky ass after the fact people saying, yeah, I think he had a laptop. I think he was acting weird that night. You remember that night? Yeah, I do, because I was smoking crack, and then I wasn't, and then I smoked some more crack, and then he came home, and then, I don't know, and I saw in the car he had a laptop, and I was smoking crack. Oh, really? How'd you find out about it, inmate such and such number 60-something? How'd you find out that? Why do you say you think he did it? Oh, because I think he did it because I was a cellmate. I know him, and he bragged about doing something. Oh, okay. How you know it was this person? I don't know. These are very shaky reasons to take someone's life. Now when you got a murder weapon, now when you got blood at the scene, now when it looks like a botched robbery, people tend not to be very careful in botched robberies. Someone's robbing the house and someone comes home early or something, people are not typically prepared to clean up the crime scene too well. They make mistakes. Marcellus Williams, I know he has some priors, but he was no criminal mastermind. He's like, this ain't Dexter we're talking about. So what I'm saying is, if he did it, it'd probably been a lot easier proving it than having to pay people $10,000 to make up some shit and somehow remove his DNA from the murder weapon without making it look like he was removing his fingerprints from the murder weapon. And the murder weapon happened to be in the woman's house, which really makes it seem like somebody was surprised and grabbed what was there. So it just all these things give doubt. But not to the governor of Missouri, though. No doubt for that guy. That guy is steadfast. He's solid. He said, we don't have enough evidence to overturn this, sorry. And so did the conservatives on the United States Supreme Court. Now, the 3 liberal conservatives all said, hey, we think he should get a stay. But the conservatives on the Supreme Court, they said, on the bench, they said, I see no reason to stop this. Can't let a little thing like justice get in the way of giving someone a hot needle. You know what I'm saying? You know, guys, this leads me back to something I discovered, and you might find this interesting. Back 10, 15 years ago when I first started doing this, I used to cover these types of stories frequently. And the day when I was doing my research for this topic, I was wondering if anything had changed, because back then I knew that there was disparities, like there was serious disparities in how our justice system works. Yeah, it's like if a black guy and a white guy committed the same crime, caught and charged with the same charges for committing the same crime with the same rap sheets, for some reason, it's the black guy that gets the death penalty. Black defendants are more likely to receive the death penalty, especially when the victim is white. 75% of death row defendants who have been executed were sentenced for killing white victims, despite black Americans making up about half of all homicide victims. So a funny thing happens. When black people kill black people, they don't get killed. When black people kill, well, I shouldn't even say that. When black people are convicted, that's really important. When black people are convicted of killing black people, they don't get murdered by the state. When anybody kills black people, they don't get. This doesn't happen. When white folks kill black people, this doesn't happen. When black folks are convicted of killing white people, 75% more likely to get the death penalty. Yeah, it's a funny thing that what the numbers do there. That's just, and I was wondering if this has changed because I remember. Now it hadn't changed since when I first started covering these cases. In fact, one of the first videos I did where I got trolled was with a guy I used to do podcast stuff with. And he was one of, he did, him and his base of supporters. It really turned me off to the content because I realized a lot of people don't care about right and wrong. They don't care about justice. They care about bad people. They care about people getting justice. Well, as in lynched by the state. And I gave them all the numbers. I said, hey, man, black guys get executed more often. I can't support the death penalty because our justice system is too unfair. I can't trust America to be fair to black people. I just can't. Nobody with any sense who wants to be reasonable and looks at the numbers and looks at what happens can trust America to do the right thing. It's like, would you want the referee at a game when you got all your money riding on it? Would you want that referee to be somebody who likes the other team more than yours? Not if you had your money riding on it. Be like, nah, I'm good. Hell, even if you were just playing for fun and for pride, you wouldn't want the referee to be out there calling the game when you know the referee favors the other team. You wouldn't want that. Even if you didn't have money on it. It was just bragging rights. Be like, nah, let's not do this. Let's get a real ref in that's unbiased. Now, we ain't talking about refereeing. We're talking about people's lives, right? So this is way more serious than the damn referee job, right? Bragging rights, scrimmage, softball scrimmage with you and your fat friends down at the bank. Yeah. You're talking about life and death. And that's why I said I could not support the death penalty, because you wouldn't want to support it under any other reasons if you knew someone was biased. How do you support it when someone's life's on the line? Oh, that's right. They're black and they're poor, so who cares? You know, black people lie anyway, don't you? That was one of these horrible jokes. When I was coming up, there were me and my friends had some horrible dog humor, man. I remember one joke, and I don't want to butcher it too bad, but it was really horrible. It was like some rednecks were putting some dirt on top of a hole. And a guy walks up and says, "What are you guys doing?" And I guess it was like cops, redneck cops. Yeah, it was redneck cops. They were patting the dirt down with some shovels, right? The guy walks up and says, he drives up. Let's say he drives up in his pickup truck. He's like, "Hey, what you brothers doing out here? What you guys doing out here? Digging a hole?" It's like, "Nah, we're just patching up a hole." So what happened? So there was an accident. Car crash, hit this pole here, landed in a ditch. You know, it's a powerful scene, awful wreck. Well, why'd you didn't dig it out? A bunch of black guys were in the car, so we just thought it'd be easier if we just filled up the hole. Said, well, Jesus. It's like, wow. Were any of them alive before you decided to put the dirt in on the hole? It's like, well, a couple of them said they were, but you know how the blacks lie. Said, oh yeah, probably lying. All right, Bob, take it easy. You too, Steve. See you at church. But also remember from my studies, right, when it comes to our justice system, I learned that it's not just, you would think it's just, you know, the horrible cops, they lock you up, but the real culprits, the true culprits, the worst culprits when it comes to our unequal injustice system, it's the juries. See, the laws are good. The laws say, hey, guilty? No, I'm sorry. Innocent until proven guilty. It says that type of stuff. But the problem is, it be people that be deciding it. And the juries, studies have shown that black jurors are often excluded from juries at higher rates. Such is the case, or such was the case, I'm sorry, of Marcellus Williams. For example, the North Carolina qualified black jurors were struck from juries at more than twice the rate of qualified white jurors. Met the criteria, should have been jurors, were not because they were black, and the person they were trying, well, more than likely they're going to be black because that's who gets charged, more than likely. This exclusion leads to less than diverse juries, which may be more likely to convict and sentence black defendants to death. Then there's also prosecutorial decisions, right? They also found that prosecutors are more likely to seek the death penalty when it comes to black defendants. particularly when the victim is white, and less likely to do so when the victim is black. This bias in prosecutorial decisions contributes to the overall racial disparities seen in death penalty cases. So yeah, there's something going around right now. People are talking about how often, I think it was Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens' friend, who Candace Owens is still aligned with, her buddy. Remember them, Turning Point USA? I keep seeing people like promoting Candace Owens' content because she's a hot commodity, and you can kind of go viral. You can get some of her audience if you bring her on your show. I think Don Lemon did it, and a couple other people that say they're progressive or whatever, who I never want to work with ever in life again. They work right with her and pretend she didn't say the things she said or do the things she did. Yeah, they act like it's okay. Well, Charlie Kirk's got this thing going around, this video where he's like, yeah, black people commit all these crimes, which is something not unique to Charlie Kirk. It's just he's the guy right now. He's got the baton of Klan baton right now. Previously, Candace Owens used to have it. And she would hold it tight because those are the same things she would say. Black people commit more crimes. No, black people are convicted of more crimes. That's the problem. It ain't who did shit, it's who's charged and convicted of it. Dum-dum. We're also the most exonerated, which kind of says a lot there that you're leaving out, because if we're also tried, arrested, and convicted at higher rates, we're also exonerated at higher rates, which will kind of give you a tip-off that there's a lot of bias in the system, but not to these guys. So anyway, it's going around that people are talking about the prosecutorial decisions and how, it has to do with a lot of bias that's in our system, and it is what it is. So it's this thing called implicit bias, which I've talked about before in videos. The implicit bias, racial bias amongst jurors, law enforcement, and other participants in the criminal justice system, they had harsher sentences for black defendants. These biases can influence decisions at every stage of the legal process, from arrest to sentencing. So Marcellus Williams, he is a casualty of our justice system. And what happened to him, we would want no one to go through that. We would want no one to be executed by the state if you got access to DNA evidence. And because the state screwed up the DNA evidence, that should be on the state. It should not cost Marcellus Williams his life, right? I mean, if the only shot you got of not being executed is me to wear a damn glove when I hold the murder weapon, that ain't too high a bar to climb. That's to be basic. And if that's not the case, if you're going to execute him for holding, if you're going to execute Marcellus Williams, knowing that the prosecution, the state, screwed up the work, sort of like what Kamala Harris people did when they screwed up all that lab stuff, and they still would charge people with screwed up labs. Yeah, that's one of the things I reported on others, that we reported on about Kamala Harris when she was DA, Attorney General. One of those, when she was in charge. Yeah, her office. I would say Attorney General. So if you're going to let Marcellus Williams be executed, shouldn't you have to execute the prosecutor as well? Because the prosecutors basically just killed a man, but not doing their job correctly. And if all we wanted was physical evidence, well, hell, whoever touched that damn murder weapon, whether it be the prosecutor who didn't put on their gloves or not, how we know they didn't kill Miss Felicia Gale? I mean, their DNA is on a murder weapon. And then that give you some doubt, you know? But I guess not. Not enough doubt. And that's why I'm saying these cases, they take a bit of your soul away because so our system is so jacked up, and it just reminds you of that. And there is no justice. If Marcellus Williams was a man who had means, he would be alive today because people with money don't get railroaded this easily. Can't just go, pick somebody. Hey, go get his crackhead ex-girlfriend and go get a guy in a cell over there and get him to say something. So you can get some commissary on his books. Person with money would never, his lawyer would eat that up, you know? But if you're relying on a public defender, and don't get me wrong, a lot of public defenders try to do a good job. They're just stretched way too thin. God bless public defenders. I mean, I got more respect for public defenders than I do prosecutors, like Kamala Harris. I'll never, ever vote for a prosecutor. I don't care how much you pay me. I don't care what you say. They're on the wrong side of the equation. Not in this corrupt system. And they know up close and personal how corrupt that system is because they work in it. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Even lying-ass Kamala cannot look me in the eye and not know what I'm talking about when I say that to her. Cold, looking at her cold, dead eyes. I would tell her straight to her face, you're on the wrong side of justice for me to ever give you my vote, lady. Go talk to someone stupid. Someone that doesn't know our system and what it does. So Marcellus Williams lost his life today. He shouldn't have. A jailhouse confession of one person after $10,000 bounty. The other was a girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, who had bench warrants. The jury denied jurors on the basis of race, black jurors on a black man on the basis of race. And I'm going to tell you, if you're in a serious high-stakes case like this and you got a black defendant and a white victim, you got to at least get black people on the jury to even the shit out. It's like basic. They did the DNA later when it became available, and it was unidentified. Then they found out, oh, it's the prosecutor's thumb. That's where that thumbprint came from. That's whose DNA is on this. The cops. We ain't gonna charge the cop. They're above suspicion. They had no proof that Marcellus did this horrible crime of killing an innocent woman by the name of Felicia Gale. And I'm not saying Marcellus was a choir boy or nothing, but nothing you've done has anything to do with the case that you are facing. He was not a killer until now, I guess, until the state made him one, until they said he was, until they convicted him as one. Then he became one. No eyewitnesses. You found a murder weapon and no DNA on a murder weapon belonging to Marcellus Williams. At the scene, the only evidence that you saw at the scene will point you to somebody with really big feet. So there it is. And and this man's life was taken. And I hear some people saying, like, there were people that were complaining, guys. They were upset. They were upset because we got some black voters pissed off with Joe Biden and Kamala because none of them are using their office to make a stink about this. Then we got people that are pissed off at the people that are pissed off at Kamala and Joe Biden because they say, you don't understand how the system works. This is a state issue. I guess I'm going to be fighting this fight forever, guys. The fight of fighting the ignorance. Any powerful person in America can voice an issue. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm using my voice. See how I'm using my voice? I'm voicing my issue. I'm voicing an issue with what took place today. I'm raising the consciousness. I'm raising awareness. I have no power other than this microphone and the humble audience that I've built over the last decade plus. That's all I have. A president has a voice too. Isn't that what all the celebrities say, or all the Democratic operatives say when they say they want, when they want the celebrities to come out and talk about things? Because they're American citizens, they should be able to voice their opinions. That's why we need Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Rihanna to voice their opinions and save our democracy. Boo, boo, we got Project 2025. You ever read it? Says Charlemagne. He's using his voice, his platform. See, that's what presidents can do. Presidents can use their platform. A vice president running for the vote, running and hoping to get the vote of the majority of black people in America, didn't want to stick her neck out and say, hey guys, that case that's going on there in Missouri, we should look closer at that. You think Kamala didn't know about this case? How do people think Kamala didn't know about this case? Let me ask this way. If you think Kamala knows about this case, give me a 1 in the comment section. I'm pretty sure she does know. And she didn't say a mumbling word about it. But we got people that'll say, we should vote for her. Remember, this isn't about him being free. This is about him not being executed and getting a fair trial. A trial that has a jury that allows black people on it. A trial that acknowledges the fact that the murder weapon had been tampered with by the prosecution. A trial that acknowledges the family and the prosecutors of the case, the original case, say, hey, I think we got the wrong guy. We might have got this one wrong. And on the side of the defendant, along with the family as well. Felicia Gale's family also wanted a stay of execution for Marcellus Williams. And all we said is, hey, she could say, hey, this is the will of the people. This is the will of the family's victim, the victim's families, the prosecutors in the case, and the defendants are all saying the same thing. And I just want to raise attention to it because I think what's happening is a possibility this could be a miscarriage of justice, because I practiced in California and I was the attorney general of a border state. You know how she likes to throw that around? Said at inappropriate times that have nothing to do with the question, just to avoid and to run out the clock and run around the bend to avoid answering directly whatever question was posed to her. Why come she couldn't use her bully pulpit, which is her microphone? She's doing stump speeches right now. She's in the public eye. Why come she couldn't use some of her political capital to focus an issue on a case that could actually influence black people to say, hey, maybe Tim's wrong about Kamala? Because Tim ain't wrong about Kamala. And neither is anybody else. Get it? We're right about Kamala. You're wrong about Kamala Harris. Go to presidentialimpact.com. Pick up the ebook. It's free, guys. And we'll talk about ways that presidents can impact this country without going through Congress. But they got to want to. They have to want to do it. That's all. That's all it is. They have to want to do it. Kamala would even do it when it serves her best interest, because some of those other voters she wants to get in some other places wouldn't want her to talk. So she make a political calculation. Though this may influence her with some of the blacks, I'll probably get enough blacks anyway. Hell, I got D.L. Hughley out there shaming black people that had the audacity not to go with me, a black woman who cooks collard greens, loves hot sauce, and went to Howard. Sweet. Yeah, I got The View. I got Sonny, who's known me for forever. Van Jones, who's known me for 25 years. Why would I need to prove to anybody that I actually to put some skin in the game behind my support for black people? Yeah, I say I'm a black person, and I wish to shame anybody who doesn't say I'm black, who won't accept my genealogy chart. But when it's time to actually demonstrate it by being supportive of a black issue, then we don't get any money from it. This ain't reparations. Though she should support that too, especially if you're going to co-sponsor the bill. Just a big fat liar. If you co-sponsor a bill, then you have the ability to bring the bill to the floor, and you won't. Yeah, we didn't get any money out of this. This is just making sure an innocent man doesn't get murdered by the state without a fair trial. That's all. Because it happens. It happens. Because that's who we are. That is who America is. A country that kills its citizens without due process. Even when the state screws up. It would have cost the state nothing to take the L on this one and be like, hey, we screwed up, man. We contaminated the evidence that could exonerate him. They would either convict him and knock this thing out the park and put it to bed, or exonerate him. We screwed it up. He shouldn't have to die because we screwed up the evidence and could exonerate him. That's all the Justice Initiative was saying. Hey, since, damn it, the DNA screwed up. Usually we use the DNA to prove you got an innocent man. Since you screwed up the DNA, we'll call it even if you let him do life. Because we can't prove his innocence. But you can't prove his guilt. We already proved his guilt. We got the jailhouse snitch and the crackhead. Remember? They said it. The people we gave money to. They said it. They didn't say they saw him. They said they had a feeling he did it. They saw him with a laptop that time. And the other one said he heard him say something. Oh. And I want to know how many Democrats came out. I know we saw Cori Bush. I saw Cori Bush, Representative Bush. I saw her saying some stuff. Yeah, did Biden come out and say something? And here's the thing, guys. This is why it's not a cut and dry situation with Trump. People say, Tim Black, you've always ragging on Kamala. You don't have a lot of smoke for Trump. Why don't you just become a Trumper? I can't. Because he has no backbone in these types of issues either. I can't support a man who won't use his might to save a man. If there's any doubt that that's an innocent man, I don't care who it is. Even if it means I make a whole lot more money. I make a whole lot more money if I did. Because a lot of the Trumpers don't have personality, style, res, charisma, different ways of talking. A lot of the black conservatives talk like this, and we want to pick up because Trump got flags in the back, and Good old boys. That was a good old boy. Bless their hearts. I'm not saying they don't believe in what they do. They probably believe in it. Yeah, but I can't support a president or a candidate who can't do the right thing because they might lose votes. So that answers that question. It answers both questions in a nutshell. My condolences to the family of Marcellus Williams. My condolences to the family of Felicia Gale. Next time somebody says, but that's not who we are. But that's not who we are. When Joe Biden's giving you that tired speech, when Kamala Harris is giving you that tired speech about joy and the fabric of America, while they're saying that bull, just remember, this is who we are. We're a country that kills our own citizens without due process, sometimes with drone strikes, sometimes with bad water, toxic chemicals, environmental hazards. And a justice system that's unjust. And there are countless stories, countless studies to prove it. And we just keep doing it anyway. Just keep on doing it. All right, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for our previously scheduled show of talking about other stuff, but I had to bring that to you because that's what this show is for. We must voice this. We must voice this. We must be about the right things. We won't make any money off this show. But hopefully, we make some noise and we answer some questions from people that need to know it. So this ain't about money. This is about doing the right thing. And if you and I want to ask all these other content creators who say they for the people, you should be covering this story. That's all. Because it's a lot of, we need to become activated. Black people need to wake up. All people need to wake up to what our justice system does every day to keep us safe. Okay? And we the bullhorn, man. You the bullhorn. If you got a platform, you the bullhorn. You are the messenger. Don't be like Charles Barkley talking about, I ain't no role model. You don't get to choose. You got a mic. You got a platform. You have a way. And if you could only reach 100 people, that's 100 people that can become a lot more educated because of you. All right, guys. I got nothing but love for you. Let's go to comments if we got any. I don't know. I know these heavy type of topics do not lend itself well to people wanting to do a bunch of talking, but Black Mamba for being ridiculously real. Thank you, Black Mamba. Nicole says, every show, keep up the truth bombs and making me laugh at your Kamala news. You got it. And I'm sure you understand why today we had to do something different. But damn it, I hate when America executes people. Just don't sit right with my soul if I did anything else today. But don't worry. Kamala will be horrible tomorrow. And hopefully we won't execute anybody tomorrow without fair trial. Right. All right, guys. I'm Tim at TimBlackTV.com. That's where you find me. If you like the show, hope you hit like. By the way, hit like on the show if you like the show. Help other people find it. And we'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another show. I got nothing but love for you. Remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And if someone wants to argue with you about Mr. Marcellus Williams, you just let them know. Black men are 75% more likely to get the death penalty than white men when the victim is white. All right, guys. Which means white people can kill white people all the time and be okay. That's also what that means. You know, keep saying how black people kill black people and black people don't get upset. White people kill white people and they don't even get the death penalty. So, I don't know. Not only do you get to be biased, your system is biased for you. You know what I'm saying? And somehow no one's complaining about it. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure they kill a lot of white people too. I'm sure they do. But there's a difference, right? You get the difference? 75% of death row defendants who have been executed were sentenced for killing white victims, despite Black Americans making up about half of all homicide victims. All right, guys, I'm gone. I'll see you soon. All right, baby. Where my girls at? What a night.